This is my 4-year-old's 4th bedroom. She's had more rooms in her first 4 years of life than I had in my first 20. So I spent the last few weeks trying to make it special. A modern design based very loosely on Andy's room from Toy Story, her favorite movie. It sports the same blue from Andy's room, a custom cloud stencil, the original Toy Story sheets from '94, colored LED lights, and a teepee. The teepee has nothing to do with Toy Story, but today I built the desk. The legs for this desk are going to be made out of 2x2s. I'm measuring them to length, making a mark, and extending that mark with a speed square. I used 2 pressure clamps to hold down the material while I saw between the guides in the miter box. It's not the cleanest cut, but it's straight, and that'll work just fine. I'll be using pocket screws to attach the 2x2s to each other to build the base. I'm going to conceal the pocket screws by turning them underneath and on the top of the desk. This is the step of the Craig drill bit. We need that step to line up to the 1¼1.5" marking on the Craig unit. Loosen the collar on the Craig drill bit with an Allen key and then slide the step of the bit up to the mark. Lock and load and set the depth guide to accommodate 1.5" material. Clamp the Craig jig to your workbench and get to drilling.
So was it yes, no, no, yes, yes, no? What was it?
I'll be using 2.5" pocket screws and wood glue to secure all of my joints. I like to set my drill to around 14 and leave it on high when I'm attaching screws. This will keep the drill from drilling through the material and ruining the piece. Continue this process for all 4 pieces for each of the 2 legs. Liberally apply wood glue to your crevasse of failure, wipe any glue that squeezes out, and clamp away the tears. Ideally you would remake this piece, but I'm just going to roll with some new glue and 1 screw. Repeat this process to construct each of the 2 legs. The final piece was pulling a little bit, so I used my hammer to force it into place. Attach the cross support piece 6 inches from the bottom of the legs. The Craig right angle clamp really helps keep the piece in place because the glue makes the piece want to slip off of your mark. I noticed that the legs were pulling in a little bit, so I added a 1x2 support piece to the top of the base. Pre-drill and attach to the base using 1¼ pocket screws. Measure in a couple of inches from the front and the back of your legs and use a larger drill bit to countersink a hole so that will conceal the screws that we use to attach the base to the tabletop. Finally, use a slightly smaller drill bit than the shaft of the screw and drill completely through the top of the base. I wanted to give this desk a paint-dipped look, so I'm masking everything out from the 6-inch line with painter's tape. The top is to be stained in an amber shellac, and the bottom will be painted with a white chalk paint.
What?
Dad,
Okay.
Daddy, help me.
I'm coming.
Thoroughly mix the shellac and apply using a rag or a brush. After using a foam brush, I would suggest using a rag because the brush puts too much shellac on at once. Ideally, you want 2 thin coats of shellac rather than 2 really thick coats. You'll get uneven coverage and it'll be very frustrating. Allow the shellac to dry and then apply painter's tape to your 6-inch mark. Finally, apply 2 or 3 coats of chalk paint to your piece. I'm using Valspar's Chalky Finish paint. And now, the moment of truth. And the second moment of truth. Measure 2 inches off of the end of Ikea's Linman desktop. Carry your mark from end to end using a straight edge, and repeat that process on the other side. Line the base up with the marks and attach to the tabletop using 2-inch wood screws. Flip it over and we have a desk.